What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode of Off the Rails with the Guys of Texas podcast. The Rangers are going to the World Series, first time since 2011. And we did it with sweet, sweet justice. I went to game 5 with my dad. I had a wonderful time. It was a great game up until the 9th inning. And Altuve hits the 3-run homer. And Astros fans again showed their true colors at our stadium. Literally had a guy next to me that was picking a fight from the beginning, not to me, but to other fans from the very beginning. The family in front of us was very nice. There was a husband and wife with their 2 kids. But other than that, Astros fans were trying to ask for it the whole time. And as they should, they celebrated very, very hard that night. And leaving the stadium that night, I got a lot of text messages. I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter with the Rangers. And I saw Rangers fans give up after game 5. And I went to the World Series Game 6 2011 with my dad in St. Louis. I know what it's like to have a disastrous loss. That didn't feel the same for me at this point. I knew how special this team was. I knew it was going to be a battle, but I had to talk a lot of my friends off the ledge at the time because we still had the best pitcher coming up again with Evo. We had Scherzer, who we really didn't know what was going to happen. He got into some trouble in game 7, but what do you know? Monty comes in and absolutely throws what we needed, and the offense just never let up. At that game 5, Garcia hits the bomb, and then he gets hit with the first pitch. Question, do I think it's intentional or not? Yeah, I do think it's intentional. Do I think he should be suspended? No, I don't really care. I was happy they upheld it because you've got MLB reporters literally talking about how the MLB is favoring the Rangers because Chris Young used to work in the front office for the MLB. Come on, you're better than that. So I was very happy they decided to push the suspension back to next season so he could pitch again. Because guess what? He gave up a run in the game 6, and he came back in and gave up another run in game 7. Adolis gets booed in game 6 and comes out and hits one of the biggest home runs in Ranger history. That was huge. And then game 7, he just went off. I don't care about the bat flip. I don't care that he takes his time walking the bases. I do care that he did it in the first inning because it wasn't a home run. Luckily for him, he did score after that. But I think Adolis is special. I think there was a fight over Facebook where is it acceptable to do things the way that Adolis does, the bat flip, the showmanship. And I think so in 2015, when Batista did it, at the time I was pissed. But I was more pissed because of Dyson giving up that home run. I wasn't pissed about the bat flip, but it just kind of coincided with it. But I do think with baseball, that just kind of is now acceptable ever since then. Yes, teams are going to be pissed about it. They don't like it, whatever. You're never going to like it if you're on the other side of it. I can promise you that. But when you're on that side of it, boy, is it sweet, especially with Maldi sitting, doing an interview after game 5 and saying, don't wake up the Astros. We put you to sleep, Maldi. You didn't do anything all series. I think you had one big hit the entire series. And You were the one sleeping, not the Rangers. And I'm telling you, you woke up Adolis. I don't care that he struck out the 4 times because you could see that he was mad every time he went to the plate and was just trying to hit it out. Now, thankfully, his last at bat, he takes the big cut. And then when he hits the home run, he slows it down and just makes connection with the ball because that man he has plenty of power. He doesn't need to swing for the fences. Now, would I have loved for him to put it through the glass in left field? Yes. But the way he did it was perfectly fine. And that stadium cleared out before that baseball hit the seats. And that was as sweet justice as I could get from all the trash talk that all you Astros fans gave me for weeks upon weeks after the Rangers didn't win the AL West. Hang that banner in your stadium next year because that's the only one you're getting. And you're going to be really pissed when we're done with this World Series. Like I said, I went to 2011 for Game 6. I know what it's like. This year is different. I was there for 2010. I was there for 2011. 2010, we were a semi-younger team. That was a team that was more built for winning in the moment. Yeah, we had a lot of young guys, but we performed really well through that playoffs. 2011 was a similar way. We get Beltre in there, a team that was more built with free agent acquisitions and all that. This was different. And this team is about as well built as you can get right now. Astros fans want to sit there and say that we bought our team. Bro, what? I haven't looked at the 2017 Astros payroll. I know that they had a lot of guys that they have brought up through the system. But the amount of guys that we have brought up through our system and the amount of the guys we have still in the farm system that are coming up, we're not going away. We're probably going to be battling for quite a long time, but you guys are on the downfall. Guess what? We put Dusty Baker in a home. He retired right after, which is what you finally wanted. But guess what? Jeff Bagwell gets to pick your next manager, and Jeff Bagwell is not the guy you want picking your next manager. And why your owner decided to make him king and make that decision instead of your GM, I don't know. But you're in trouble if Bagwell actually picks who we think he's going to pick. And that manager will not do as well as Dusty did for you. And no matter how much trash you want to talk about Dusty, Dusty got you a championship. I don't care that you think he doesn't know how to manage. He did things pretty well. And Dusty's a good manager. The fact that he's on that team makes it a little different for me. But Dusty is good. You guys got a lot of questions coming up in your offseason. And I love the fact that you immediately came out with a press release that you guys are immediately changing your batter's eye because that was the problem. The Texas Rangers saw it just fine. I get that you win in Arlington this year. It won't be the same next year. We still owned you in your house 4 games. You didn't get the last one because you had home field advantage. Maybe you should have wished that we won the West, but you hang that banner up with pride. Put that 2023 up. Can't wait. Now for the Texas Rangers, we have moved on to the World Series. We are going to be playing the Arizona Diamondbacks. My dad and I have purchased tickets to fly out to Phoenix for games 4 and 5. And as I said earlier, this one is a little different to me. This team has played well all season, minus a little bit of hiccup through the end of the season. But overall, they still played very well. And this offense can hit. And the Diamondbacks are a young team, a very young team. They're good. They've got Christian Walker. They've got Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll is our Evan Carter, basically. But Carroll is something special. Evan Longoria. Yeah, that one. He's on the team for the Diamondbacks. Bannister's on the bench for the Diamondbacks, so that's going to be interesting. But this is a different time, and everything is pointing to a championship right now. Now, we can all talk about how the Rangers did at their own place against the Astros, but this is a different team now. That playing the Astros was a different battle in and of itself. And that was the crutch of finishing this the right way. I think going into this series, the Rangers know what they need to do. Now, the Diamondbacks played very well in Philly. The Diamondbacks have went 3-1 against us on the season. I understand that. I also understand the Rangers did not play well at all against any NL team except for the Phillies. And I it's going to be interesting. We'll know a lot after game one. The experience is going to play a factor, I think. The Rangers have loads experience. I believe we have 5 players that have played in World Series. They have 2. This is going to be a big factor for us. Experience isn't everything, but knowing how to what you're doing, your pregame routine, how you're preparing for the game, and how to act in the game. We've got a lot of leaders in the clubhouse that are going to really show these younger guys exactly how, but also at the same time, let those younger guys just be young and dumb. Don't even realize they're in the moment. When you need to step in to tell them, hey, relax a little at the plate, relax a little in the field, that's fine. But let them be young and dumb too. It's nice to have that fine balance. But the Diamondbacks don't really have much experience at all in the World Series. But that can play into the other role. So this is going to be a coin flip. The Rangers have a lot more power. Rangers beat them on almost every category on offense. Pitching wise, it's very close. But the big thing is going to be getting Evo out there and getting another gem from him. If we can get Evo and Monty out there for game 1 and 2 and take care of business the first 2, and the Rangers get out to a big lead so we can rest them again for later on, possibly before we even get back home. That's where the game plan is going to be for this. I don't be surprised if Bochy, we get up 6-7 runs. Don't be surprised if he just pulls them in the 5th inning, saves them on pitches, because he could pull Evo back out in game 5, game 4. It kind of depends on that. So Bochy will be playing the short game to game, and he's also playing the long game. As we talked about, he was gonna pull out a starting pitcher at some point in the game, and Monty was the one in game 7. And I loved the call. I was worried that Monty didn't have enough rest, but he showed up, took care of business. Wasn't really much of a stress for him. The Rangers kind of took care of business the whole way through. I'm not going to lie, in the 9th inning, I had a little bit of flashback, and the second Altuve hits a home run, they get some guys on base, I went, uh-oh. Now, it would have been really funny if the Astros came all the way back and their stadium was completely empty for them to go to the World Series. But nonetheless, that didn't happen. So Evo pitching against Gallen. Gallen has pitched okay in the he's pitched well in the postseason. But the Rangers got to jump on him early. That's going to be the biggest key. And everyone keeps asking, and I bet you the Diamondbacks are asking to make sure that they have that umpire behind the plate that's calling the tight strike zone. Guess what? Watch game 7. Tightest strike zone. The umpire behind the plate in game 7 called everything perfect, and it was great. There was maybe some that were inside the strike zone that he still called balls, but he was consistent, and there was a tight strike zone. That's a win for the Rangers because that forces the pitchers to throw in the strike zone when they get behind in the count. And that's going to be key. Um, Making sure, if you watch Josh Young, throughout the beginning of that whole entire series, last series, he was chasing everything. And then game 6 and 7, you start seeing him learning to take pitches. He takes the walk. He gets on base. He gets a run batted in because of it. Like it was not run batted in. I can't even. He gets a run scored. But he's getting patient. He's starting to learn in the heat of the moment when to chase and when to not. And that was good to see him change that. Leody Taveras wasn't as big a factor this series, but he's going to be big. Nate Lowe got a home run at the end. Evan Carter came through in the last couple games. Everyone's starting to fire. Corey Seager and Marcus Semien started to show up again. Don't let us go in that lull and get hot again, because we come out firing like we did at the beginning of this postseason after a little lull at home during the Astro series. It's game over. Like, this team, when they get hot, you can't touch them. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. And as much as it scares me, because again, I know exactly what it's like, I honestly think it's Rangers in 5. I just have a weird feeling. I'm sure it's going to come back to bite me, but this team is something different. We've got the experience. We definitely have the hitting power. We've got the pitching enough to where we need it to be right now. We just need to make sure the bullpen continues to do what they need to do as far as Spores, Chapman, Leclerc. I need Leclerc to get all of that. And I think that helped him with the Rangers blowing out to just clear that all out of his mind. This is a new slate. It's a new series. I'm so excited to watch it. 7:03 Friday night, 7:03 Saturday night, and then we are off to Arizona Monday. I will be there Tuesday and Wednesday for it. I will probably go live at some point while I'm out there. But I'm excited, man. I truly believe this is something different. I think this is going to be the year, but only time will tell, and I'm excited. That being said, Astros, have a good night. Enjoy your AL West. What would happen if you guys won on Game 7? I guess we'll never know. We'll see ya Friday night after the game. Y'all have a good night. Go Rangers.